Welcome back, everyone, to this explainer of Part 9 in our deep dive into the chilling events of Room 307. We are picking up right where the terror reached its absolute peak. I want you to picture the scene for a second. The spiritual realm is quite literally trembling. Two piercing red eyes suddenly ignite in the suffocating darkness. The giant protector, the entity who up until this exact second totally believed himself to be the most powerful force in the room, suddenly falls to his knees in sheer, unadulterated terror. He manages to tremble out a warning, telling Aryan, Rohit, and Meera to run before it sees them. But as we're going to uncover today, it is already far, far too late.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the visceral horror of what happens next is just incredible. Out of nowhere, from the pitch-black shadows, this massive, dark throne slowly begins to materialize. The figure sitting on it is completely shrouded, its face totally hidden from view. Thick black smoke swirls aggressively around the entity, and the air is violently split by the agonizing screams of 1,000 trapped souls. And then, cutting right through all that chaos, a heavy, booming voice declares, 50 years! I have been waiting 50 years for this moment. The tension here is immense. The group hasn't just encountered another spirit, right? They've triggered a catastrophic event.
And then Aryan, incredibly, I have no idea how he does this, musters up the courage to actually ask the entity who he is. There's just this suffocating silence. Then the shadowy figure slowly rises from the throne. He extends a single hand, and in an instant, thousands of souls violently throw themselves to the floor, bowing in total submission. The entity finally reveals his identity, stating, I am the Lord of Darkness. He reveals that he is the true, undisputed owner of this cursed hotel. And the most terrifying realization for our trio? They are the ones who just violently awoke him from his 50-year slumber. They didn't just walk into a trap, they literally woke the trap's master.
Section 4. Power of the Amulet. Because right when all seems completely lost before the Lord of Darkness, a tiny, seemingly insignificant object changes the entire dynamic of the room.
Suddenly, a small amulet worn around Rohit's neck begins to glow with this intense, rapid light. The lore here is super fascinating. Rohit suddenly remembers that his grandmother gave this to him way back in his childhood. Her specific instruction was, never take it off when darkness threatens to swallow you. As this radiant, glowing light expands, it actually forces this supreme dark power to physically take a step back. The Shadow King roars in pure anger, completely shocked to realize that this holy light is still alive. This isn't just some trinket, it's an ancient defense mechanism that the darkness recognizes and legitimately fears.
So, the crucial point is, Meera instantly recognizes what this means. She turns to Aryan, realizing that this amulet is their absolute last hope. But actually, scratch that, it's not enough on its own. She reveals a vital piece of lore to the group, the Prakashmani, or the Light Gem. This is a holy artifact hidden away in the hotel's temple. Meera realizes that if they can take Rohit's glowing amulet and combine it with the Prakashmani, they possess the exact formula needed to shatter this curse permanently.
This gives them a really clear 3-step plan of action to break the curse. Step 1, survive a deadly labyrinth. Step 2, grab the gem. Step 3, combine it with the amulet. Simple enough, right? Well, just as we start to feel a sense of triumph, the giant protector drops the tension right back down on them. He lowers his head and delivers a grim, devastating warning. The path to reach the Prakashmani is not some simple hallway. It forces them to navigate through what he calls a literal labyrinth of death.
Section 8. The Labyrinth of Death. And guys, the protector wasn't speaking metaphorically here. Almost immediately, absolute chaos erupts. The very ground beneath their feet violently splits wide open. Aryan, Rohit, and Meera plummet downward, falling into a massive, deep pit. When the dust settles and they finally open their eyes, the environment has entirely changed. They find themselves standing right in the center of a colossal, terrifying maze constructed of massive stone walls.
Towering high above them on every single side are these imposing, inescapable stone barriers. But it's what is on the walls that really sets the stakes. Smeared across the stone in fresh blood is a horrifying message. He who chooses the path chooses his fate.
This horrifying message establishes immediately that this isn't just about finding the right direction, it's the ultimate life-or-death test. Every single decision in this maze carries the weight of their very survival.
Section 10. 3 paths, 1 choice. Now what's really interesting about this slide is how the cruel, psychological design of this trap reveals itself instantly. As they read the bloody warning, the maze suddenly shifts. Mechanically, seemingly on its own, the massive stone walls grind open to reveal 3 distinct, separate routes. It is a forced choice. They cannot stay where they are, and they definitely cannot go back. They literally must choose one of these 3 terrifying corridors. They're faced with 3 terrifying options. From path 1, they hear the distinct, super unsettling sounds of crying children. From path 2, there is the agonizing, blood-curdling scream of a woman in pain. And path 3, complete, dead, heavy silence. Meera, totally trembling, issues a stark warning. Out of these 3 paths, 2 are guaranteed death traps. Only one single path leads to the Prakash money, and they have absolutely no idea which is the correct one. I want you to think about this right now if you were standing in Rohit's shoes, looking down these 3 dark hallways with those sounds echoing in your ears. Which path would you dare to take?
And they don't even have time to think, because suddenly, from deep behind the labyrinth walls, comes the fast, incredibly heavy sound of someone or something running toward them. Dud, dud, dud. The footsteps are massive. They are rapid. And then a terrifying, booming voice echoes through the stone corridors. I am coming. The Lord of Darkness has found them. The terror is absolute. The trap is fully set, and the monster is sprinting right toward them. So, which path actually leads to survival? And which will claim their lives in the dark? That is the chilling question we are left with as the true horror of the labyrinth begins. You absolutely won't want to miss how we break down the terrifying resolution to this choice in our next explainer. Thank you so much for diving into the darkness with me today. Stay curious, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one.